G'day guys, so we're going to up the ante today on the distraction training. We'll start out with Chance and Nevaeh. We've got Jason here. G'day mate.
G'day mate, how you doing?
Looks like you had a haircut.
Sharp,
it's a haircut.
Yeah.
I'm in need of one of those. So we're going to take these guys out to the big paddock.
Okay.
We're going to set up our brand new lure that one of our fans donated to us. We'll have a formal thank you for them in a minute. We'll head out there, we'll set it up. We're going to ask these guys to hold a drop under the full pace lure. So we did the little test lure with the fishing rod, and they did really well at the boundary. We're just going to up the ante and make it really attractive. Have both of them there at the same time, but we'll start out with doing one dog at a time.
Okay.
And then we'll ask them both to do it if they're successful. Then we'll swap them out, do these guys, and we'll let them have a bit of a run as well and see how they go.
Sounds good.
Cool. Well, I've got the lure in the back of the Ranger.
Yep.
We'll do a boundary here. I've upped the... I advanced them now, so you don't say the boundary. You just... This is where we're advancing because they should know it already. Nope.
Good.
Through. Good dogs. Oh, good dogs. Hello. 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 Show your best side. Oh yeah, that big smile, mate. That big smile. Oh yeah, good boy. Good boy, mate. Well, I just want to say a big thank you to Drew for donating a brand new lure machine. It's very, very generous. We're very excited about it. The lure is such a big part of what we do here at the farm. And, the sad news of the last one dying, and they've obviously got on and ordered it straight away, and it's just such a big part. The dogs absolutely love it. Today we're going to use it for not only just a bit of fun, but we're going to use it for some training value for these guys to do some high-level distractions, holding a drop while watching this lure zip past. It's going to be irresistible to them, but it'll be perfect training. Then we're going to let them have a bit of fun and chase it. Then we're going to get the other dogs out. They can all have a bit of a run. So it's pretty versatile. We do use them to death. We smash these machines day in, day out. Dogs absolutely love them. As you can see, this one doesn't have our aftermarket cage over the top of it, so we do have to watch that because they'll all try and attack that spool. However, can't thank you enough, Drew. Really do appreciate it, and these dogs are going to get a cracking time out of it today. Thank you very much. Took out my nipple.
Oh, they're ready.
Oh, they're ready, all right.
They're really good mates, aren't they, these two?
I'll drop first.
No. I think we should rev them up, show them what it is, let them have a run, and then
they know what it is, but
do you want me to run it out, mate?
But we do want to show how much they love it, so as to how much of a distraction it is.
Where's the trigger, mate?
It's in the front seat.
Nevaeh is keen.
Okay. Good job. There we go. Good. Rightio, so we're going to go on halter for this exercise and then see how we go. But basically, I want to do one dog at a time. So we're going to take Chance out of the equation to start with. We're going to put Nevaeh in a drop. her. So I'm expecting a couple of fails here, but then what I'm looking for is improvement after each fail. So we've got a nice tight circuit here, very close, very inner face, very unavoidable to, you know, she has to see it, it's right in the face. So let's see how we go. So Jace, I'll just get you to walk that out for me, mate. I'm going to put her in the drop here, and then
And what's the point of this training? Like, what are you trying to simulate
This is
here?
distraction training.
Yep.
So I am trying to train her to a certain level where it doesn't matter what she sees, how attractive it looks, how much she wants to go towards it. I want her to overcome that desire to just ignore everyone else and go for it, and I want her to acknowledge me, acknowledge my voice that I'm talking to her, and to ignore the distraction because we've got a job to do. What we're doing here is preparing a dog like her to be able to go into a civilian environment where you know, she might be at a cafe and there might be an antisocial dog that's barking at her, and so I want her to ignore that dog. I don't want her to engage in that dog. They might be sitting in a cafe having a coffee, and you don't want her to just get up and charge and start barking and being unruly. So this is all preparation for her to go out into the world and see everything that the world has to offer and ignore it all under verbal commands. So that's what this is about. I know that she's uber excited to chase this lure, and it is very attractive, the way that it's sharp and jumps around and really fast moving. And so that's what I'm using for her drive to want to go and chase and grab that lure. I'm using that internal drive she's got as a distraction to help her overcome that desire to want to just get up and go, and to control herself, watch it without getting up and going for it. Cool, let's see how we go. No. 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 So, I don't know if you can tell the difference between those first two breaks, but the first one was a break and lunge and hit the end of the lead. The second one was simply a get up and orientate towards it. So it was an improvement in how she failed. So that's what I'm looking for, that I mentioned before. It's called an indication of progress. Good girl. Nope. Girl. Nope. Good girl. Nope. Nope. Girl. Nope. Girl. Girl. Good girl, darling. Good girl. Free good girl. Girl. Nope. Girl. Nope. Girl. Girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Free good girl, darling. Woohoo! Good girl. Good girl, darling. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, you got it. Good girl, darling. Good girl. Good boy. Good boy. Nope. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, mate. Good boy. Good boy. Free. Good boy, mate. Yeah, go get it. Right, we're running out one more. That was really good. Good boy, mate. Here. Good boy. Sit. Good boy, mate. Good boy. Drop. Good boy. Good boy. So if he does go, just cover your vitals. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, mate. Good boy. Good boy. Free. Go.
Good boy, mate. Well done. Pretty well, mate.
Cool, so successful exercise in the end there. The things that I'm looking for when doing that kind of stuff is those indications of progress. So as you can see, I started off with Nevaeh because I knew she would be the find it the most challenging, and then she would also, you know, want to be in it when she's put out on the outside as well. So wanted to focus on her to get her to learn to ignore it first off, and you saw it took quite a few times. But what I look for as a trainer is I look for those indications. Is she improving each exercise? And overall, absolutely, you can see those indications of progress. The first couple of times I'm holding onto the lead because I knew she was going to go and she was going to commit and run. So as soon as she breaks and goes for it, I had to stop her. And so held her back. And then as I saw her getting better in the way that she was still breaking, but she was just getting up and going to a stand and staying on the spot. Then you can see I started to give her a bit of trust. So I started dropping the lead and walking away. And it also creates a bit more of a distraction. It helps with that mental game later on when they're perform perfect for you on lead, and then as soon as you take them off lead, they just do whatever they want because they know they go, I'm out. You don't have any control.
That's right.
So that helps that situation down the track in the future where she saw straight away. She looked at the lead on the ground, looked at me, and went, I'm free here. But still.
But I saw that as well. She did focus on you a lot more then because she's, you know, I've given a bit more lead. What's happening here? So she kind of redirected the focus on you, which was good.
Exactly. And then I started stepping back, creating more distance, which made it a little bit more difficult for her. But the ideal scenario with that is you always want to show them the same distraction until they get it perfectly. If you start changing it up and mixing up the distraction, what way she's looking, what angle you're taking it from, they're all considered a new distraction. So that's the first time she's seeing it. So she's most likely going to break that first time. So when you're setting it up, if she fails, you want to keep resetting that same scenario so that it gets easier for them to achieve the exercise. Then once you start getting a few of these under your belt, you start throwing random ones in. And you start changing it up, you start doing different positions, you start making it closer, further away, all of those things. So eventually she just gets this mindset of, it doesn't matter what I see or where it is or what's going on, I just have to wait for that free, you know, and that's what it's all about. So then after you've exhausted whatever you can think of as your distraction, that's when you go out to the real world and just get distractions that you can't control. Because you only see those distractions once. You only get one shot at giving them a go. You know, so that's why you want to practice and do your groundwork as best you can to prepare for that. And for a lot of the time as a trainer, when you're trying to teach people to do this, they don't see you know, the level that you need to do it at home in the privacy of your own compounds and the ability to keep resetting the situation. They don't see how far you have to push that before going out. Now, often they just try to go out in public, go, yeah, they did it great at home twice. So then I'm going to the park and trying it. Useless, couldn't do a thing, you know, and they call me up. Just no hope at the park. I was like, well, how'd you go at home? Yeah, I did it twice. I'm like, you need to do it 300 times. You know, you need to really prepare them for that level where they know you've got no control over that situation. So it's you and them in the world together. But here they can start to see, I'm controlling this. So then that's where the relationship builds. That's how you can build that trust. They start to realize, I'm just not going to move until I get that free. You shower them with praise and affection, let them know they did a great job, and then that's what they're working for, that reward. So then when you do go out in public where you can't control the distraction, usually you get a break like what we got towards the end there, where they see it and they get sprung up, and then you say, good girl, and they don't go for it. They still broke the drop, but they don't go for it. But that's a successful first time in public. You know what I mean? So that was a really good result. It was great to see the progress in Nevaeh. They were just baby steps forward, progressing. But then Chance was really, really good. He went for a full-blown lunge and sprint. Stopped him.
First run through, didn't he?
He just wanted to go straight into it. But then very quickly was able to assess and go, okay, I'm not allowed to go for it, and then just watched it go around. So that was really good. Really, really good response from Chance there. You know, fantastic result. Only took him, I think, 2 times.
I think it was the second go he sent through. You saw that third one as well, but he thought, okay.
Yeah, so the third one we did it again just to prove it, and he broke from the sit to the, from the drop to the sit. But one quick no, and then straight away just handled it. And that's why I gave him a bit of a run at the end. And again, it's always important to not train them not to go for the lure at all. So you do want to give them a chance to go for the lure, get the lure, shake it a bit, like, yeah, I got it, you know, it was satisfying. And then once they want to get it again.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you lose your ability to use it as a distraction.
You don't want them to ignore it completely.
No, you don't want them to turn
still
off
have
the
some
lure.
fun.
You still want them to be engaged in the lure and want to play with it and want to have fun with it and chase it, but always on your time. Whenever you say, yep, this is time to chase, or this is time to ignore. And it's all about that relationship with you. So that was really good. I'm happy with that.
So just quickly, did you want to just share with Jace, you know, and the viewers, you know, a real life example of where this worked just, I think, was it yesterday or the day before?
You didn't post that video already? They haven't seen
I
it?
did to behind the scenes.
Oh,
so
right.
they have the 3 seconds of when it happened,
sure.
but you
So,
can talk about it.
Awesome. So
You got a real time example?
we call this type of training life-saving training, right? We train to the hardest possible scenario that you can create so that you're in the best possible chance in the real world to alleviate or eliminate any sort of negative interaction or, you know, to keep your dog safe or other dogs safe.
Sure.
So Luna, as you know, is getting full free time with all our dogs. Actually, yeah, you and here, she's a jumper, man. She can launch his fence.
Yeah. Oh, this fence?
Yeah, she can launch his fence.
I saw her the other day.
Yeah,
launch into the pool.
She can jump. Oh, okay. So my point is, I was doing a boundary with these guys. Obviously, all the house dogs are in the house yard. These guys are at their glass door all the way open. I step back at the motorbike, and then there's Luna walk straight past me, straight up nose to Nevaeh. And so I was just like, good girl. And both Luna and Nevaeh just sat there. And she didn't break the boundary. She knew the boundary exercise. We've done this. I had the motorbike. I'm revving the motorbike. I'm training her at the boundary. Don't cross this boundary until I give you the through. So it turned out that Luna just happened to be a natural life spanner in the works distraction that appeared, and she handled it perfectly. And so that's what this training's all about, is those distractions. You should have seen the camera. You just see Luna come into shot, and then instantly the camera drops, and I'm like, good girl, and I'm ready to, you know, break something up.
Because what could have happened, really?
What could have happened,
or even if it was, let's just say, before you did this, got back into the intensive training 4 weeks ago when you were bus driving, and the dogs were, you know, not getting the training that they're getting now, like today.
So
what could have happened?
100%, that would have been at least 2 dogs severely injured and off to the vet, and potentially me injured trying to break up 3 dogs.
Yeah.
So Chance
was out.
Chance and Nevaeh were sitting there unrestrained with a door open. Me about 4 meters
3
back.
3 dogs on the farm. You do not want out together. That's right. Unrestrained at the moment.
You know, straight away, Nevaeh locked on to Luna, and Luna just walked straight up to her, nose to nose, hackles up as if they've never met each other before, and.
Not a worry in the world.
Well, straight away I was like, good girl. And then Nevaeh and Chance just sat there looking at me and ignored Luna. And
you can see in the replay, because it literally is like 3 seconds, and then Luke drops the phone, obviously, to, you know.
I'm ready to use 2 hands to
get
it.
But you can see that Roscoe and Molly have already seen her, and Nevaeh's already locked on.
Oh, you can see them.
And then you just see her in the reflection just coming straight up to Nevaeh. So they all saw, obviously, because she came up behind Luke.
You would have had your back turned.
So they all saw her before.
She's jumped the fence.
What's going on up here? I'll just pop in and out.
What's going on?
Wow. Wow.
So, you know, that's a perfect example of why you do this training.
Yes.
Because that's something that you don't anticipate happening. You know, I've got 13 dogs in the house yard just hanging out, and one of them jumps the fence to come into the back to see what I'm doing up there with these guys.
Yep.
When I'm training these guys, and that's something that I didn't plan for.
Yeah.
But we had done enough lead-up training for them to achieve that exercise. So that was a really, really good result. I was so happy with how they performed. It just made everything worthwhile when I was like, okay, cool, we are making progress.
And mate, that's going to be one of those situations that People are going to face out in the street.
Yeah.
You're walking your dog through the park, and then around the corner,
you might run into a
stray
friend.
dogs come out.
Yeah, you run into a friend, you
happens
start
quite a bit.
chatting,
Yeah.
all of a sudden a dog creeps up behind you, you don't see him, and
Yeah.
if you can't control your dogs,
That's why,
could
yeah.
be quite bad.
You need the dog responsive to this training.
That's right. The other side of things is when you might not have a dog aggressive dog or a human aggressive dog, you might just have a dog that is super playful and wants to play with every dog.
Yep.
But they see a dog on the other side of a busy road. You know, I've seen it so many times where dogs get really excited, the gates open, they shoot out across a busy road, cars are screeching, honking,
Yeah.
trying to avoid this dog, and you know, it can be a really bad situation just having a dog that's unresponsive. So yeah, that's why we do the training in preparation for these things. Oh, they got it.
They've found the lure, I think, mate.
Yeah. Just turn it on, mate. Alright, so we're just going to swap these guys out and go put them away and get Roscoe and Molly and let them have a crack at this distraction and the lure. Anywhere we go, they usually follow us, but there's a lure hanging in the tree. So I don't know if we'll give it a run up the paddock and see how she goes.
Give her a bit of a
Yeah.
Go up.
We'll have to try a different approach. I thought that might be a bit too much for them. They're like, nah, I don't want to go for a run, I want to keep playing with that lure. As you can see, they love it. You know, we really get them excited about the lure. We celebrate when they chase the lure. And so it does create this real big desire to do well at it. Not only do they want to do it, but you know, I show them that they impress me when they do it. So it just turns into their favourite thing in the world. So, and these guys are relatively new to the farm as well. You know, when you look at dogs that have been doing it day in, day out, like all of our dogs, the Shepherds, Freddo, you know, Yoyo,
Bandit.
Bandit, but Shadow, it just becomes, they lose their minds with it. It's amazing. Really love it. Rightio, we're gonna have to go and lead and go. I'm gonna have to give you a ride at shotgun. Come on. Come here. Come on, in we get. Rightio. See you soon. We got her ready to go, Roscoe. Has been trying to drive the whole time. Good girl, Molly. Come on, darling. Good girl. Hello, mate. Hello. Good. What you got there, Roscoe? What you got there, mate? He's excited. Why don't you just keep walking, Jace? Just head down to the tree, yeah. Drop. Oh boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Nope. boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, mate. Good boy. Well done. Good boy. Good boy, buddy. Good boy. Good boy. Free. Good boy, mate. Good boy. Well done. Boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good. Nope. Good boy, mate. Good boy. So it wasn't even a break of the drop, but it was just that shift in position. Good boy, mate. But for him, I can really pick those tiny little bits apart. Good boy. Good boy. Nope. See that little shift? Good boy. Good boy, mate. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, buddy. Good boy. Free. Good boy, mate. Where's he, buddy? There he is. Hey. Oh, he's got it. Good boy, buddy. Good boy. Well done. Good boy. Good boy. There you go. Good boy, mate.
Replace these bags with a picture of Nevaeh.
Oh yeah.
Might chase it a bit more.
Good girl, Molly.
Hello, Molly. Hello, Molly girl.
Good girl. Oh, not even looking at it. Put yourself back though. Gosh, you're a good girl, aren't you? Yeah, she just wants the love and the cuddles. Is that what you want? Oh, you just want the cuddles, darling. You just want the cuddles. Good girl. Good girl. G'day guys, so this lure machine is a little bit special because it's able to be configured in a continuous loop configuration, which is really, really good if you don't want to keep resetting up the lines. However, I find I get a few snags when you get multiple dogs running at this one. But basically, with this setup, to be able to run it continually without having to reset, which should be pretty good. However, a lot of the dogs who are seasoned lure dogs, they'll start to go for the line and chew the line. Then once you got a breakage, it's a bit of a setup to go back. But I thought we'll trial it, see how we go. Hopefully we get a couple laps in before they snap the line.
Eyes on it.
So now I'll bring it back to the start position, and then we'll let the dogs through. There we go. Rightio, Jace, we are set up, ready to go, mate. Once you open that gate, head on over. We'll see how many laps we can get before they destroy it.
Hey, roger that, mate. Going through now.
Oh, Luna! Good job, Luna! Good girl, Joey! Good boy, Bruno! Good job!
Dirty boy. Oh, gee whiz.
Matilda, come on! Nope, nope. Good girl. Jump over, jump over, jump over. Nope. Oh. What is this? What is this? Nope, nope, nope.
It's too messy for the...
You ready, guys? There it goes already.
doing the whole thing. Oh, gee. Okay.
Right, we'll cut that one away.
Continuous does not work with large pack.
Yeah, I knew it didn't, but it can be fun if it does work. Freddo, cut it out. Fully out of the ground. Freddo, no. Freddo, nope.
Freddo, no. So it must be catching on here. Yeah, am I going good? That'll do, guys. No more. Good girl.
Well, yeah, you get the length. Because that's stuff, and you sacrifice it. Usually they think good a million times.
Look at it. Look at the group forming in here.
Yeah, I know. They're good if you can get them running, but because there's so many dogs, they just run through the course and get caught up in it. But you get a couple good laps out of it. Look at them, they're puffing.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good for the small dog.
Well, it's good for individual dogs.
You know what would be good, mate? Have it. Get off the permanent one.
Matilda, come on, darling. Good girl. Shadow, come on. Good girl. No, you can't. You can't because it always sits that far off the ground.
That's what I mean. We had it like...
The only way it'll work is if you get a perfectly level ground and you fence it off. And then what I plan on doing is
like
usually...
an arm out the side.
No, well what happens is you just hide the barricade with hay bales. So it disappears into the hay bales and then they can't get to the machine all that extra bit of loop. And then it comes out of the hay bales and shoots off, you know? Otherwise they just attack the machine. But look how excited they get. It's a bit of a some pent up energy, you know, watching the other dogs go for it all day, and then they finally get their chance.
Get their chance.
Letting loose. Good boy, Freddie.